platense, que es una ayudadita. Este industrial y obviamente aquí hay trabajo, donde hay trabajo.
Alright, so this tower y'all see here, so the police have a vantage point over the area. The streets aren't well organized to have so many people and motorcycles and businesses. You see how narrow the street is? And there's parts of the Centro that are, you know, more safe than others. But right here, where I am right now, is just right on the border with El Calvario. Se siente pesado. There's like a bunch of people sitting on those steps doing drugs. And I think this is a government building.
Para suerte, para contra y para las envidias. Hasta los taxistas llegan aquí a comprarme.
Para que no los atraquen.
Claro.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new video. I'm here in la capital del Pacífico Colombiano, the capital of Colombia's Pacific region, one of my favorite cities in this country, also the capital of El Valle del Cauca department. Unfortunately, Cali has been going through some violent years ever since the pandemic, and Cali's always been known to be a violent city, man, but in 2023 there was over 1,000 homicides. And I was reading an article by El Tiempo, a Colombian newspaper, that reported up until now, we're in September of 2024, there has been over 600 murders, homicides in the city of Cali. Unfortunately, that's due to its proximity to Buenaventura, which is the largest port in Colombia. So there's narco gangs that practice microtráfico, which is micro trafficking of drugs within the city of Cali, and then narco trafficking, which is the ones that work transporting drugs to other countries. Due to disputes over territory and, you know, beefs between them, that mixed with urban street crime, robberies, it's not a good mix. Cali is one of the few cities in Colombia where there's not allowed to be a man on the back of a motorcycle due to the amount of robberies that there's been on motorcycle. Only passenger could be a woman or no passenger at all. And after dark, after 8 p.m., you are allowed to blow red lights because of how dangerous it is to stand still on the streets after dark. And I'm gonna give y'all my honest impressions. You know, obviously not everything is gonna be positive. It's about 3 p.m. right now. It's a Saturday. I'm here with my little brother. He's gonna protect me here. He's gonna protect me here, watch my back while I'm filming. Good thing about the GoPro is that it's small. I try not to attract too much attention to myself. And we're here in the San Antonio neighborhood. This is, as y'all can see, the cobblestone streets. One of the first, I think it is the first neighborhood in Cali. Cali started from here. It's a colonial neighborhood. It still preserves a lot of the architecture, and it's a really beautiful area. Very close to El Centro. You just have to cross La Quinta. So we're gonna go across the avenue right now down here, and we'll be in El Centro. So let's see what today holds for us. Guys, check out the traffic here in Cali. Chocarro. These Jeeps right here are the ones that transport people up into the hoods. When there's no more space inside, people stand on the back. And man, this is getting to El Centro now, so very congested here. And unfortunately, Cali is a city where you can feel the tension like in the air. You can feel kind of that vibe. It's not something that you can see, although sometimes you can see it, but it's something that you feel. Like everyone here is kind of on guard, and that creates like kind of a vibe in the air of tension. So right here, we're coming up on La Avenida Quinta. Just like in that song, Cali Ají. Si por la Quinta estás pasando, es mi Cali bella que estás atravesando. So that's La Quinta right here. That's the flag of Cali. Over here we have a mural to Palestine. It says it's not a war, it's an extermination. And on this other side, I want to show you another mural real quick. Yo, Gabe, let's cross this way. I want to show the mural over here. Let's cross real quick. It's not easy to cross here, man. Look, gotta be careful. All right, so El Paro Nacional del 2021 was a time in Colombia after the pandemic The government and governments all over the world handled the situation horribly and destroyed the economy. Many people here in Colombia live day by day, check to check. So if you take away their work, they're starving, man. So there was already a lot of people upset with the conditions and with the decisions of the government. And then the government wanted to do a reforma tributaria, like a change to the economic plan that a lot of people didn't agree with, and that was like the last straw, and that caused mass protests throughout the entire country. Large groups of protesters in each city of the country blocked major national highways, and that created a really tense situation because the trucks that transported gasoline and food and all types of goods couldn't deliver them to the cities. So there was, how we say in Espanol, escasez. There wasn't food in the supermarkets, or if there was, it was super expensive. There wasn't gasoline, or if it was, there was super expensive. El ESMAD is the anti-riot police here in Colombia. They come out with big armor and trucks that spray people and tear gas and those rubber bullets. And many young men died in those protests. Some of them were disappeared, which means their bodies were never found. And Cali was like the center of all of the most violent clashes with the ESMAD and most deaths. So here on this mural, you'll see the faces of young people who were participating in the protests who were killed, unfortunately, by the ESMAD and sometimes by unknown characters who were dressed in civilian clothing. It was a weird situation here. El Paro Nacional de 2021, unfortunately, things still haven't gotten much better for the people here in Cali and in Colombia. So one thing I like about the Centro of Medellin that doesn't exist here in the center of Cali is that there's one main street in El Centro in Medellin that's just for pedestrians. And on that street they sell all type of things, and it gives a space free of cars, which makes it safer for the people, because here in Cali in the Centro there's no street like that, and there's motorcycles and buses and cars everywhere, and when there's a lot of traffic it could be dangerous. So here we're just arriving into El Centro, El Paisa. When you leave Antioquia and when you leave Medellin, you'll see bakeries and businesses with names El Paisa, because Paisas are very business oriented y también son muy andariegos, how we say in Spanish. Andariegos como he likes to travel a lot and live in other places and explore. So Paisas will open up businesses here in Cali or in Santa Marta o en donde sea. Y hay una tienda que se llama El Paisa. This right here, like, that's not really a good look. That hole filled with wood trash. Guys, so this right here is La Plaza de Caicedo. La Plaza de Caicedo is like the only park in the center of Cali. And y'all can see people sit here and chill in the shade. And the Palacio de Justicia, like the government building of Cali, is right over there. And I'd like to point out this park is very clean and very well maintained. Like, look at how green the lawn is, how there's like no trash on the floor, and even the government building is super white and super clean. You can tell they do a lot of maintenance on it and clean it and make sure it's looking good. There is some prostitution over there on that side, but apart from that, it's a really nice park. Guys, for example, this street here has sales of clothes on both sides, but motorcycles transit through it. So there's people walking, buying things, but at the same time there's also a lot of motorcycles, and that makes it dangerous for the pedestrian. See, like, people walk and then motorcycles have to weave through. But as y'all can see, es un centro. Every Colombian city has a centro. I've said this before. They all have things that make them similar. The amount of, things that they sell. In centros, you can find anything. You can find clothes, electronics, food. You can find, anything, jewelry, whatever you want. But then there's also specific things that make it unique to that region. For example, here in Cali, you'll see people selling fruits that are native to the Pacific tropical rainforest. Yeah, just the things people sell, feel me? Like the sugarcane juice everywhere. El Valle del Cauca is known for growing a lot of sugarcane, man. Once you leave Cali and go to the pueblos nearby, it's filled with sugarcane plantations. So there's just, man, there's a lot of sugarcane here in El Valle del Cauca. Look, you see how narrow the street is? Crossing. The chontaduros. Chontaduros are fruit very commonly consumed here. In Medellin, you can find it as well, but it's not as common. Since they harvest it right from here nearby, you see it a lot more often here. But it tastes much better in juice, to me. The fruit itself is very dry. You see what I mean? Like, it gets all crammed up with the motorcycles. And look, there's even a part here, so you have to get through here. Look. The streets aren't well organized to have so many people and motorcycles and businesses. You got stuff?
Yeah, there's a little traffic jam.
Guys, so this station you see behind me is a station for El Mío. You see it here? El Mío is the name of the public transportation here in Cali. The stations are designed the same way as in Medellin with the Metro Plus, or in Bogotá with El Transmilenio. They're like built right along an avenue, and there's a special lane just for the Mío buses. And then people wait in those little stations, and the doors open and they get on the bus. El Mío de Cali. See, the streets aren't in the best condition. And I know, I wanted to show Cali in a positive light, but I'm reacting to things as I see them, you feel me? So let's go see if we can get something to drink over here. It seems like there's a lot of little spots where you can get things. Look at all the motorcycles parked up. And there's empanadas, there's juices, there's desserts, there's fried foods. Whenever I come to Cali, I like to drink this. Borojo. They sell it in Medellin too, but I feel like it's so much better here. ¿Quiere miel? ¿Qué le puede echar un poquito? Así está bien. Gracias. So it's made with milk, and this is like the paste of borojo right here. That's what it looks like. It's like a glue almost, man. It's super sticky. It's good, right? It tastes like yogurt. Alright, so this tower y'all see here, so the police have a vantage point over the area. I don't think I've seen this in Medellin, but I've seen it in New York actually. When the police stand up in these towers so they could be able to look over. There's nobody up there right now. I mean, it's a crazy intersection. Sheesh. Not going on. So this over here is like the part where they sell fruits, and the Centro will have themes. Like certain areas will be for like kids toys, certain areas will be for musical instruments, certain areas will be for electronics, clothes. This right here is like the market area, and over here we come out to an avenue. I don't know which one it is, but over here it starts to feel a little more sketchy for some reason. don't know why. Just the vibe that I get. Alright, so crossing this avenue right here is El Calvario. El Calvario is like Prado Centro in Medellin, or how we call it El Bronx. It's where they buy and sell drugs, and it's like a really bad area. There's a lot of people who have mental health issues, addicted to drugs, walking around, and gangs who control that territory, who sell drugs. So you can see it, man, once you cross that avenue over there, it looks horrible. I've seen some YouTubers go in there, Spanish-speaking YouTubers, because nobody in English does that. And it's very dangerous, man, like super risky. And I'm not trying to put my life on the line for YouTube, you feel me? It's already dangerous enough doing what I'm doing right now in El Centro de Cali with the GoPro. And there's parts of the Centro that are, you know, more safe than others. Or right here where I am right now, since it's right on the border with El Calvario, se siente pesado. Like, I'll show you right now. I'm gonna try to keep the camera low and not attract too much attention, but you'll see what I mean. So back here, people are selling a lot of used goods, used clothing, electronics, toys, random things. And these right here are the Jeeps that I was mentioning before. See, it says Circunvalar. This lady behind me, she's serving like cheap food for the people who live on the street. I don't know if y'all see, just like some rice and some scraps of meat. It's probably free or just very, very cheap, like 500 pesos or 1000 pesos.
No, pero llámale no también.
So I'm taking a risk filming over here, but I want y'all to see this area, how it looks. And this is another Mio station right here, Estación Centro. This is what the buses look like. They're blue. And these are the lanes just for Mio. And here it says, y los presos políticos que? There's like a bunch of people sitting on those steps doing drugs. And I think this is a government building. Y los presos políticos que basically means, what about the political prisoners? We here, it's a nice afternoon now in Cali. Around this time, once the sun starts going down, it gets really nice out. So let's see what else I can show y'all before the day ends. And yeah. This is the flag of Cali, Colombia, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the flag of El Valle del Cauca. And this is the Gobernación. It's like a brutalist architecture, kind of similar to the government buildings in Medellin. And there's like an artwork of Un Gallito de la Roca, which is the red bird. Actually in Antioquia, in the south of Antioquia, you can see that bird a lot. I've seen it many times. the red one, and then it's like a blue hummingbird, and they're playing salsa instruments. And oh, look at the kid feeding the birdies. So many pigeons here. And Cali in the afternoon, like a breeze comes down from the mountains, man, and it's super windy. It's a really windy city in the afternoon. Alright, so I got a guarapito, el sabor del Valle del Cauca hecho líquido, hecho una bebida. It's just so refreshing. I can imagine like working all day in a campo and just drinking this ice cold. It tastes like heaven. Here, bro. Parece que rico. In Medellin they also sell it, but here literally like on every corner there's one. So this street right here is called La 10. So right here. And once you cross that street, you're like on the other side of El Centro. And the Centro kind of ends down there. And then it kind of becomes part of that neighborhood that I was showing y'all before, where there's a lot of drug use and all that. So look here, it's like electronics, you see? They got like those things, fans, things for the TV, to put a TV on the wall, speaker. So you see how the centros are all divided into areas. So here you got, you know, more speakers, music, they're playing parchís. If you're Latino, let me know if in your country do people like to play parchís too. I think in DR they like to play it as well. But in Colombia, man, people love parchís. It's people's favorite thing, man. And if you go to the Caribbean, then it's more like dominoes. If you go to like Cartagena and Santa Marta y eso. And it's crazy, you hear Dario Gomez. Dario Gomez is like very typical music to Medellin. You know, you would think that only in Medellin and Antioquia they listen to that, but here you hear Dario Gomez often. Oh man, look at that. La Chamita. That is an old truck, man. Compared to the paisas, I feel like the people in Cali, they're not as like formal, like they're not as polite, but they're also like, you know, more chill, like more relaxed, like more fun, more joyful. You see here it like ends and then it just becomes dead down here. Like after the street, it's just like all of the businesses kind of like end, and it's just like gets a little more spooky. Alright guys, welcome to day 2. We're back in El Centro de Cali. Today I wanted to come in the middle of the day, in the middle of the heat, so y'all can see what it's like. But we're here, we just gotta walk down here and we'll be in El Centro. And I wanted to show y'all this real quick. This is what the indigenous people from El Cauca look like. They look very similar to the Ecuadorian or Peruvian or Bolivian indigenous. And they're here, let's go Gabe. They're here from El Cauca, just south of El Valle del Cauca, and they're a very united group of indigenous people. They faced a lot of violence against them by armed groups, by the military and the government. The state never cared about them, never treated them right, as is the story for many indigenous people in all of the Americas. So they formed a Guardia Indígena, which is like an indigenous guard, and they protect each other, they protect their communities, and they advocate for their communities. And you know, they're known for that. So that's how the women look like. They wear those hats and they have that brown skin and those very indigenous features that normally you would think of some indigenous person from more south, from Bolivia, Peru. But here in Colombia, in the south, in Nariño y in Cauca, there's a lot of indigenous people who look like that. We have indigenous people in different regions of the country with different languages, different culture, different beliefs, and even different physical appearance. Like the ones in Santa Marta are completely different from the ones here. The ones in El Chocó are also different. Very diverse country we have here. All right, guys, so in Cali, just like in Medellin, there's two teams. In Medellin, it's Deportivo Independiente Medellin and Nacional. In Cali, it's Deportivo Cali. That's what this bike is decorated with. And the other one is América de Cali, which is the red team. And look, it has all the years that they won championships. It has the logo, has the flag. Man, this bike is Cali'd out. Yo, people here go so hard for their club team. Aquí en el centro, ¿qué cosas pueden mejorar?
No,
cosas...
yo no le...
No?
No. Déjalo, pa.
Well, me and my brother got a guarapo right here, which is a sugarcane juice. And we asked the guy, and he was like about to talk to us for the camera, but then he was like, nah, you know what? There's been other guys who have came here to interview me, and they don't show any love. I never see them ever again. They don't like promote my business, so like I don't trust no one now. It would have been a cool interview because I think that he's been here for a long time selling sugarcane juice. Buenas. ¿Está vendiendo aquí?
Aquí soy yo. ¿Qué desea?
Pues, ¿qué son estas cosas que está vendiendo? ¿Son como artesanías?
Santería para suerte, para contra y para las envidias. Y el de ahí se llama el talismán de la buena suerte.
¿Cuál este?
Ese, sí señor.
Es
Ahí
como
tengo
una...
el dólar, tengo el triángulo, tengo la cruz de Caravaca. Se llama el dólar.
Es el dólar.
Sí, para la suerte, para la contra y para la envidia. Corre un poquito, papi, allá. Dólar. Los 7 metales.
¿Y este para qué?
Para la suerte, para la contra
suerte.
y para la envidia. Y también para cuando lo alumbran a usted con fotografía. Igual del otro. El triángulo de la buena suerte.
De la buena suerte.
Sí, el triángulo de la buena suerte. Ahí van los números para jugar chance de lotería.
4314. ¿Y qué más?
Esos ajitos, macho, los entrego rezados 3 en 10. Y acá son a 20 cada uno rezados, con nombre, apellido y fecha de nacimiento.
Ah, ya.
Para la buena energía de su cuerpo.
¿Y qué más vende estos?
Sí, collares rezados también,
Rezado.
con nombre y todo.
Es como protecciones.
Ahí, güey.
¿Y el palo santo a cuánto está?
A 3.000, 2 en 5. ¡Forti! ¡Bien! Lo prende la punta, sale para pintura.
Listo. Y eso es como para limpiar la energía.
La energía en la casa.
Ah, bueno. ¿Cómo es su nombre?
Gustavo, ahí está. ¿Cuál es el signo suyo?
Gustavo el Castillo,
Ellos.
el rey
Ahí
del
está.
ajo macho. Este ajo macho le sirve como para suerte, para protección.
Para todo.
Para todo.
Sí, señor.
Ah, bueno.
Hasta los taxistas llegan aquí a comprarme. Los
Para que no los
particulares.
atraque.
Claro, para cortar toda la mala energía también del cuerpo de ellos. Ahí está. Bendiciones.
Listo, igual. O quédese con los 1000, quédese con los 1000.
Bueno, entonces vamos a una cosa. Le va una mostaza allá.
Bueno,
Saca una mostaza colorada.
esa semillita.
¡Hey, you!
Las
Corti.
semillas.
Esa. Bendiciones.
¿Eso para qué? La
Que
mostaza.
rieguen en la casa.
Ah, bueno. Listo, Gustavo, muchas gracias. Dios lo bendiga.
Ok.
Hasta luego.
Ven, falta más. Ok. ¿El signo suyo cuál es?
Aries.
¿Y el de él?
El de él. Usted es Capricornio, ¿cierto? Sí. Sí.
Busque aquí.
Busque. Capricornio y Aries.
Eso.
Estaban juntos.
Bendiciones.
Ay.
Eso es para jugar chance o lotería. Ahí van los números.
Perfecto.
Ah, bueno,
Bendiciones.
Listo, Gustavo, gracias. Hasta luego.
Bendiciones. Que ganen para que
Igual.
me traigan la liga aquí.
Hágale.
Eso.
So these numbers right here are to play the lottery. Should I do it? I think I'm gonna do it, man. Yo, I've never done that here. People love playing the lottery here in Colombia, man. It's a big thing.
A lo mejor lo hacemos ahorita. ¿Cierto?
Me gano $1,000,000.
¿Qué comerá uno papota? ¿Qué comerá ese animal?
So we came upon this church. I don't know what it's called. We just saw it from the distance and wanted to check it out. But yo, hold up. This park is filled with people doing drugs. There's a Bancolombia right here, but I do not feel safe taking out money, man. Like, I'm not trying to be like amarillista, how we say in Spanish, like exaggeratedly paranoid, but it's true, you know, it's reality here. Like, you kind of have to be a little paranoid when you're in places like this. So we're gonna keep it pushing. We just decided to come here just to look at the church. But I think behind here, there's Está la Olla, which is where like all the, it's kind of like El Bronx, where all the people buy and sell drugs. So it's, you know, un ambiente pesado. ¿Y eso qué le dan por 1,000 pesos ahí?
Hermano, un bocadito.
Arrocito, lenteja, frijol.
Digámoslo, una tajadita, un poquito de frijol y así un pedacito de carne, un huevito, así.
Ah.
Pero, o sea, pues, es una ayuda. Lo que pasa es que uno, los 1,000 pesos es para ellos pagar el transporte de la comida de allá, de acá.
Ajá.
Y es que la comida la da la alcaldía.
La alcaldía.
Ya. Como aquí el Cali es tan grande, entonces lo da por sectores. Entonces, los que trabajamos por aquí, vivimos por aquí, dormimos aquí, nosotros nos servimos de ellos. Yo aquí a Cali.
De Cali.
Yo aquí a Cali.
Es pesado vivir por acá en el centro. ¿Usted vive por aquí?
Pues pesado no es. Cali es una ciudad grande y peligrosa.
Ajá.
Ya. Cali es una ciudad grande y peligrosa. ¿Cómo me explico? ¿Cómo está en el comportamiento?
Sí.
En toda parte. Yo vivía allá en Medellín. ¿De dónde Medellín? ¿Verdad?
Sí.
Yo vivía en Medellín.
Pero es más peligroso Cali que Medellín, ¿cierto?
Sí, claro. Pero entonces, aquí en Cali lo más pesadito así, hoy en día, es aquí este pueblo, este parque. No este parque exactamente.
Esta zona.
No, esta zona. Aquí en el parque, en un tiempo, fue algo muy calmado. Hoy en día también es calmado, no hay problema, pero ya en la noche no es cuestiones de robo, sino que cuestiones de pelea mucho.
¿De qué?
De pelea, se pelea mucho. ¿Ya? Pero resulta que los que roban allá tienen que cruzar por aquí para poder perderse para el otro lado. Los que roban allá tienen que hacer lo mismo.
Entonces ellos se pelean entre ellos.
Cuando uno está aquí, uno no deja que venga robando, se venga para acá. ¿Ya comprende?
Sí.
Ese es el problema.
Para que ellos no roben aquí.
Exacto. No sobreviven cualquier pedazo, pero entonces ya tú eres de Cali. No se acomodan en Cali. Sí. Entonces por lo menos aquí el sol los coge y lo aprieta mucho.
Sí, el que no está acostumbrado.
El calor, sí, agosto.
Sí, a mí siempre me da duro, siento de Medellín, aunque Medellín ya es muy caliente, pero no tanto.
Pero entonces resulta que Medellín en el tiempo de frío.
Sí, antes era más frío.
Para vivir. Es que hoy en día se sabe que como el tiempo ha cambiado tanto, hoy en día el sol pues azota en toda parte, como lo mismo que yo estoy en Bogotá hace poco. Pero entonces uno aquí en su tierra no siente el sofoco del calor, uno ya está acostumbrado. Sí. ¿Qué le puede hablar de Cali? Cali es una ciudad tensa, que es una ciudad dura. Es industrial y obviamente aquí hay trabajo, También se sabe que la sobrepoblación del vecino país, pues,
Sí.
de pronto no le quitan a uno directamente el plato de su comida, pero entonces ellos también trabajan para su sostenimiento, pero entonces también se hace difícil el sostenimiento de uno porque con tanto habitante y se duplican, les pone un poco más complicado. Sí. Entonces los últimos años aquí en Cali se ha puesto muy complicado por eso también.
Sí.
Pero
Sí,
no
todo el país, no.
O sea, por
más
eso le digo,
llegado.
porque es que la situación económica se ha puesto difícil, intensa por eso, porque hay más gente.
Alright, so I got some jugo de borojo. Here it says borojo, el original. The guy serving the lady who works in that store some juice. Borojo is a tropical fruit. It grows here on the Pacific coast of Colombia. It's very tropical, humid, and rainy. Those conditions are what this fruit needs to be able to grow. Eso le estoy grabando el carrito. Medellín también lo venden, pero
Más,
no tanto
más
como
suave.
acá. Pues sí, como que no es tan rico como el de acá. El de acá de pronto es como más fresco, no sé.
Más no, cada uno tiene su secreto. Acá venden borojó, cada uno tiene secreto aquí.
Su receta,
Ajá.
su fórmula.
Algunos tienen más espeso, más aguado.
Es con pura leche, ¿cierto?
Sí, la leche. Más rico.
No sabe como a
El sabor
yogur.
sabe más rico.
Leche ontaduro. Combinado.
Meli. Ahorita combinado.
Bueno, sí. Ya pita de... No, hágale tranquilo. Chontaduro. Sí, eso es muy común combinar
Sí,
el borojó
muy
con
rico.
chontaduro, sí.
Un poquito ahí.
Sí, son ricos.
Y es como un yogur.
Y sabe como a yogur.
Lo hace puro leche así de polvo.
Ah, leche en polvo.
Y también le echa leche de líquida. O sea, dos leches.
¿Y esto aquí cómo es? Como para decirle a la gente dónde está ubicado el puestico.
No, Petecuy, al frente del parqueadero.
Centro Comercial Petecuy. ¿Y esta estación del mío?
Por la 10.
Por la 10. ¿Esta estación cómo se llama?
Petecuy se llama.
Ah, Petecuy. Petecuy. Alright, one thing about Cali, the drivers are a bit more aggressive than in Medellin. Like I feel like they don't let you cross the street as easily. There's also a lot of motorcycles and they drive really fast. Not to say in Medellin there's not drivers like that, but I feel like it's a bit more common here. And this is a street. I mean, cars cross through this street, and look at how many people there are on the street, like just walking in the middle of it. So there's certain things like that are different here. So right here they're selling chunchurria, which is like intestines, coconut water, chontaduro. You can see what I mean by the chaos, like, let's walk this way. I think there's more motorcycles here than in Medellin. Or maybe like a similar, but I think maybe there's a little bit more motorcycles here. El papá. Uy, parce, qué solazo que está haciendo por aquí. One thing I don't like about El Centro de Cali is the amount of dust. There's a lot of dust in the air, and when the wind blows, it gets all in your eyes. But anyways, guys, I actually got work today. For those of y'all that don't know, I work as a translator online, as an interpreter, so I gotta go back to work. But anyways, I love walking around here in El Centro and seeing all the vibes and taking in all the energy. Understanding a little more of the culture here in El Valle del Cauca and in Cali. A beautiful combination of multiple cultures to make la cultura caleña. Good thing is where I'm staying is close to El Centro, so not too far to walk.
Y café también.
Right, guys. Es la quinta. Es una locura aquí siempre, eso es siempre lleno de motos y de gente. La quinta de Cali. Vamos a ver dónde cruzamos para ir a San Antonio. Aquí. So when you cross La Quinta, which is right over there, you get to the San Antonio neighborhood, which is a colonial neighborhood. That's where I started this video. And it's been very gentrified, at least this part, because there's a part that's behind the park of San Antonio that is still like a regular barrio. But this part near the Centro has a lot of like hostels and restaurants. You know how it'd be when a place gets like tourist gentrified in Latin America. And cafes. The cafes be everywhere. Even though San Antonio is touristic, since it's so close to El Centro, it still can be dangerous. Let's see, they have salsa classes here. And that's how it be. So I'm gonna go hop into the crib and do some work. And I'm gonna check in with y'all again tomorrow. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. Hope y'all found it interesting. Cali is a city that I love, that holds a special place in my heart. And I think it shows in a very pronounced way, in a very obvious way, the diversity that we have here in Colombia, the mix of cultures, the mix of heritage that we have here. You know, despite the circumstances, despite all the struggles that the city goes through, the people keep a very positive attitude. And that really inspired me. Another thing is that, you know, in Medellin, you obviously see diversity, but it's, you know, most people look like me, like we're pretty white. Here you can see all type of different colors of people living together in one city, coexisting, and they're all Caleños, they're all Colombian. We don't separate each other. I know there's a big debate about whether there's racism or not in Colombia, and obviously to a certain extent there is. And you know, I'm not black, I'm not Afro heritage, so I can't speak from a position of experience. But the Colombian government, the state, has obviously abandoned those regions with higher populations of Afro and indigenous people. There's no denying that. But here in Cali, you see people, all these people living together and treating each other with respect and treating each other as normal people, you know, normal human beings. So I don't think we can generalize and say that Colombians are racist. You should come to Cali and then see what you think about that after. Feel me? Anyways, I'm rambling a bit. We're getting here to La Quinta. We cross over to San Antonio here. And yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Peace out, guys.